Go ahead and call this meeting to order. First item is roll call.
Alderman Bray,
Here.
Alderman Cleaver,
Here.
Alderman Knox,
Here.
Alderman Mills,
Here.
Alderman Skinner,
Here.
Alderman Soul.
Here.
There is a quorum.
Next item will be invocation led by Daryl Jones from Crossroads Church, followed by a pledge of allegiance from Alderman Soul.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let's pray. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe and creator of our souls. We're grateful today for all that you've blessed us with. We own property, we have vehicles, we have a community, we own homes, we have jobs, we have food on our tables, pantries that are full, grocery stores down the street, gas. You've given us everything that we need to sustain ourselves and to live out the lives that you've created for us. You've given us a community of leaders, city staff, elected officials, to transact business on our behalf, to represent the residents. And God, I pray as they do that tonight, you give them wisdom. They have been given authority by you and empowered by our residents. So I pray tonight that the decisions that are made will be in the best interest of this community, not only for us, for our children, and for our grandchildren. In the name of Jesus, we pray.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next item is the approval of the agenda.
Mayor, we did have one change. We need to add under police officer oath of office, David Harrison.
Okay, that's the only change.
Yes.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to amend the agenda then.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Knox, second Alderman Skinner. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion to amend the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, agenda is amended. Next item then is police officer oath of office. We have Jason Irely and David Harrison. If they would like to come forward.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States and the state of Missouri, that I will observe the provisions and the ordinances of the city of Green Valley, that I will faithfully discharge all of my duties as a member of the Green Valley, Missouri Police Department. So help me God.
You guys want to do them separately?
Yeah.
Maybe avoid this, or maybe when you get close, we'll call you back. Thank you.
Next on my agenda will be public comment. We ask the citizens come forward to the podium and microphone. Make sure you've signed in with your name and address for the record, and also give us that so we have that for the record. Please also limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have anyone who wishes to address the board this evening? Okay. Whoever wants to come up first. Get everyone.
My name is Edward Johnson. I'm a disabled veteran. I have 2 fake knees. I have a metal plate in my left foot held in by 4 screws. In my right foot is 2 screws. I only say that because my exercise is very limited. I cannot walk, I cannot jog, I cannot run, I cannot use these beautiful trails that were put in. And I have complimented the Parks and Recreation Department previously on the beautiful walkways and that kind of stuff that have been added. Been a citizen since 2013. I've been a member of the pool for that time. In 2021, I got a new secondary insurance through United Healthcare. I'm on Medicare. It's a Medicare Advantage plan, and they offer a fitness program. They offer several community centers. Grain Valley Community Center got approved. I have the code number in my pocket here, but somebody from the city should know that code number that they can use whenever I want to use the facility. What I really want to use is the aquatic center due to my limited mobility and basically my legs. And I've been denied that. Even though I've talked to the insurance company, they said we got the code, all they've got to do is bill me. I've been told what I consider to be mistruths from Jim Myers and Shannon Davies. And I even have a voicemail message he left me. I have it highlighted here. He says, "We don't have the availability to offer aquatic fitness classes in our pool." This is from 2022, offering fitness. This I just pulled out of the brochure over at the community center. For this year, they're requesting water aerobics signups. They refuse to accept my insurance. He's told me it's because it's a discounted rate. And an exact quote again from him is, "It's not fair that a family should pay full rate and a senior should get a discount when we have limited capacity." But every time I've been there, there's never been a problem. All right, I'm done.
Well, your 3 minutes is up, but if someone on the board wishes to grant another 3 minutes, they can. Okay.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, grant more time, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, you can go on.
I was told by Mr. Davies that it's not fair to a family that has to pay full for me to be there taking up space at a discounted rate. I currently, since the city of Grain Valley will not let me use my pool, I conclude that I'm paying twice. I pay for the secondary insurance to Medicare, which includes this fitness program, which I pay for. They want me to pay full price. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm being charged twice by Grain Valley. I currently belong to Lee Summit Legacy Community Center. My insurance says I can be a member of multiple community centers and fitness centers. They have no problem with that. They'd rather us seniors do fitness stuff than end up in the hospital, which is a lot more expensive. So I feel like I'm being discriminated against as a senior citizen. And there is a signed agreement, United Healthcare and Humana. Humana offers Silver Sneakers. United Healthcare offers Renew Active, and mine is Renew Active. And like I said, I have a code right here in my pocket that says they will pay, but only a discounted rate, which was agreed to by, I assume, Ken Murphy. There is an agreement out there between those two insurance companies and the city of Grand Valley to accept the discounted rate. And I'm being refused, so I belong to Legacy. 10 times nicer facility than this one, at least. My only complaint, I still go there, I went there yesterday. My only complaint is it's an hour's round trip drive. And I would rather drive 5 minutes to my community pool, which somebody from the city has agreed to the discounted rate. Mr. Davies has told me repeatedly that it's not fair to families to pay the full price, but I just cite examples. The water department right now offers a senior discount. And is that fair to a family paying full price? I don't know, but the council, probably before you all, voted to give seniors a discounted rate for water and sewer. Same with Public Works. Public Works came by my house just a week or so ago. Oh, is he here? No, I don't see the Public Works guy, Patrick Martin. Very nice people. The Water Department, very nice people. Jamie Logan, very nice people. Person. Yeah. But anyway, Jim Myers has treated me very, very rudely, to the point he has told me, and I will, if you got a Bible here, I don't know if you swore in these new officers, but I'll swear on a Bible that he told me to shut up. And I find that unacceptable for a representative of this city, especially to speak to a disabled veteran like that. Anybody like to see any of these?
Ken, are you aware of any of this?
It has, and Mr. Davies has spoke to Mr. Johnson, and I spoke to him
He
today.
just spoke to me 5 minutes ago.
Let's let him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, on the Silver Sneakers or Renew Fit, so yes, it's an eligible thing, but it's not a program that we take part in. One of the big reasons is we just have an outdoor pool, and it is programmed throughout the day. He is correct. There is a class that we have for the water aerobics versus like Legacy Park or Legacy Community Center, where they have an indoor pool. It's open year round. You've got plenty of time to program those things. So when Shannon and staff and the park board look at that type thing, they decide what programs we can offer and what we can't. We do, for anything in the community center, we do have a lot of programs there that take advantage of Silver Sneakers and Renew Active and all of that. It's just on the pool side of it, that doesn't really fit with the model that we're in. That was one of the things that we tried to correct back in 2020, and that or looking at as an option to have an indoor pool. That was voted down, but that was one of the things then. When you just have an outdoor pool that's open for a few months, you are very limited in what you can do. And we do give a lot of discounts to senior-related items, and they do get a free membership to the community center itself. On the aquatic center, as you know, we do have to pay a company to manage that. So they have a manager on site or assistant manager, lifeguards, all of that type thing. So that is something that we do have to get revenue back for. And it's just one of those things that we decided not to go forward with trying to offer a Silver Sneakers or Renew Active type program there. And we've been very consistent with our messages to Mr. Johnson, explaining that.
Do we have any discount for senior citizens for the pool?
On the pool, it's just flat. It's the same for everybody.
So no, so when the pool was built in 2002, the Board of Aldermen at the time, it's free to kids 4 years of age and under, and then beyond that, it's the full rate.
What is the full rate for an adult?
It's $5 for a day pass, and which we're consistent with Oak Grove's pool, Odessa's pool. Same thing for a fitness or a season pass for the pool season is 65 for a resident.
Do those
And-
cities offer a discount?
I believe so for seniors. One thing to note is Odessa opened up, I believe, 7 or 8 years ago. Oak Grove opened up 4 or 5 years ago. We opened up in 2002 to a population of a little over 6,000. We're at over 16,000 now. The pool has not expanded any, so we run into capacity issues during the swimming season where we'll have people come to the pool and can't come in because we've reached capacity per Jackson County Health Code. So that's a problem that we're running into, whereby you'll have families, you'll have a 20-year-old, you'll have an 80-year-old, you'll have a couple, may have memberships who have paid the full price that are having to wait outside for people that may have only had to pay a discount. And like Ken had stated, our indoor programs where we offer silver sneakers, we've got one instructor. And where we honor silver sneakers, Renew Active, Silver and Fit, those places don't dictate to us what we have to provide and not provide. We decide that. There are some park and rec municipalities that don't honor any of it, but some that do. And for us, we do have 6 fitness classes, pickleball, a free membership to residents 65 years and age and older to the fitness center, discounted senior luncheons once a month, and like Mr. Johnson had said, the utility billing discount. I think the cities and you all are doing great in providing those offerings to our seniors. The difference with our fitness room is we don't have to put staff down there to manage it. So our costs are minimal. The fitness room is there other than coming in at the front desk. Our fitness classes in the community center have one instructor. When it comes to the pool, we're paying for a manager or assistant manager, 4 lifeguards. So the cost is 3 to 4 times more to us at the pool. And then you throw in the capacity issues that we have at our pool. And like Mr. Johnson said, that's what we've always done, is it's not fair for somebody who has paid full price for a season membership to have to wait outside the pool because there's others that have been able to get in. And these programs don't reimburse you 100% of what you're charging. We'll have a class in the community center that will be $6 to $7. We get $3 to $4 back.
Mr. John, if you need to take a seat,
Can I-
feel free to take a seat and we can talk to you while you're sitting down.
Can I do a rebuttal to that?
Hold on a second, let's let him finish.
But I think the main thing is we try to offer what we can and honor those to where we can maximize participation and not take a big hit with our costs. The aquatic facility is different because of the management company we have in place, the staffing we have to have there as well, plus our capacity issues. If we had an indoor facility like Lee Summit, you bet we would offer it to really pretty much all of our programs, because your indoor facility 9 months out of the year has kids in school. They have people at work from 8 to 5. So you got to get people into the pool, because the pool is costing you money every day in chemicals, utilities, ventilation, and staffing. So most indoor municipal aquatic facilities do honor Silver Sneakers, Renew Active, Silver and Fit, because they need something coming in to offset those costs. 9 months out of the year from 8 to 5. Our facility is different.
What are our pool hours?
12 to 6 every day of the week.
Okay, is there
For
any,
open
is there
swim.
downtimes throughout that, and is it busy
It,
from noon
it
to
fluctuates. I couldn't tell you that it's,
Right after still, or
what's that?
they do swim lessons before and after still?
Yeah, so at 10:30, we have a 10:30 to 11:15 swim lessons, and then we have another session comes in from 11:15 to noon. And then we're open swim 12 to 6, and then we're swim lessons again from 6:15 to 6:45, and then 6:45. And we can't go real late because our pool is not illuminated, so we've got to stay within that. So that gives us a window of time in the morning to be able to check chemicals, to vacuum, get restrooms clean, check water chemistry, which is what staff does prior to swim lessons each day.
I mean, at noon, from like noon to 2, is that like a slower time of the day? Or?
It fluctuates. We've hit capacity at any point in time during those 6 hours. it's not one specific time frame or not. So,
Mr. Johnson, just so I'm clear, is your concern that you don't get access to the pool all day long at a discounted rate, or that you can't join this class?
I would like to exercise preferably either the first half hour when they open, 12 to 12:30, or the last half hour they're open from 5:30 to 6. There is never a capacity issue at those times. Matter of fact, the exact opposite is true. I've been there at 5:30 in the afternoon, and the lifeguards and the manager shut the pool down because there's a lack of participation, not over participation, a lack. There has to be a minimum number of people in the pool for the lifeguards to be on duty. At 5 o'clock, almost like clockwork, the parents tell the kids to come home for supper. And so between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, the pool is virtually empty. I asked Mr. Davies, I was joined that, I pool in 2013, and I on and off for 10 years, and I have never, ever heard of a capacity issue until I spoke to him. Like I said, the exact opposite is true. The kids leave at 5 o'clock, and they have shut down the pool. I've been there. They've shut down the pool due to lack of participation. He may be able to tell you what the minimum number is. I don't know.
So, you said do you have a disability through the military?
Pardon me?
You said you have a disability through the military?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my personal opinion, and I think it'd be nice to have staff, present something to us that maybe what the costs or economic, hit would be. But I personally think that if you have a disability rating through the military, or if you are a senior citizen, that there should be an hour at the beginning or an hour at the end that you can attend for free. Maybe you get 1 hour and you have to leave. But,
Not to jump ahead, but correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah.
that is a parks facility, and since we are a fourth class city, a lot of those decisions have to come through the Parks Board, correct?
Yeah, and just so you know, our aquatic facility operates at about a 50 to 60,000 deficit every year.
so, what's
I mean, the Parks Board could look at something,
yeah,
but it would,
I
it would
mean,
need to come
ultimately-
through them.
we can't set rates?
Huh?
We can't set rates.
The park board will initially approve it at the park board, and then it goes before the Board of Aldermen with community development's rates and PD's rates, and then you guys approve.
That's the weird thing of being
all
a
of them.
fourth class city.
When's the next park board meeting?
Tomorrow night.
Have you attended a park board meeting?
Didn't know there was such a thing.
Tomorrow night.
Okay.
So it sounds like it has to start there.
Yep, it's 7 o'clock at the community center.
This other brochure I just picked up this week, it's got all kinds of misnomers. I won't use the word lies, but I'll call them misnomers, inaccuracies. I just picked this up a couple days ago.
Do we still offer like chair aerobics and?
Yeah, so in that flyer, there's 6 fitness classes that are all seniors can use that are members of Silver and Fit, Renew Active, and Silver Sneakers. We also have 2 line dancing classes. Those apply to pickleball. Those discounts apply to, as well as the free fitness membership to our facility.
None of this is accurate, I can prove it.
Okay. We good?
All right, thank you. I know we had 2 other people who wanted to address the board. Oh, 3 other, okay.
Tough to follow right there. Okay, my name's Terry McLean. I live in Rosewood Hills, and I live on a street called Lindenwood. I'm on the safety committee of the Rosewood Hills community. We have a meeting tomorrow night, so I'd like to be able to take some good information for them tomorrow. But our problem is where Rosewood and Lindenwood meet, there's a stop sign, which that was good. You put that in, that was great. Well, anyway, when people are going east on Lindenwood, it goes into the new division up there, and there's probably, I don't know, quarter of a mile just straight away, and people they hit the stop sign and they just gun it as fast as they can. Now, you did put a speed bump in. The speed bump is down where there's no houses. So it's really kind of ineffective. It helps with the people who are going west. I mean, they do slow down for the speed bump. And then by the time they get going up the hill, it's, they're going a pretty good, what I call nominal speed. But I'd say the people going east on Lindenwood, they go down the hill, they don't brake. A lot of them don't even stop for the speed bump. And I'd say the average speed is probably 35 to 50. Now, probably 50% of the people are going 25 or 35 miles an hour, which, that's almost an acceptable speed. I'm assuming the speed limit is 25 on there because it's a residential neighborhood. So it might help if you'd put like children playing. There's a lot of kids out this time of year. They're on scooters going up and down there because it is a long straightaway. They like to go down the hill and up the hill. But, the speeders, it's just a matter of time before somebody's going to get hit on a scooter. I proposed at the last safety meeting that there's a T there and they put a stop at the bottom of the hill. Not that people would probably stop that much, but at least might slow them down. Or put the speed bump closer to where, because there's about 8 houses on each side of the street, and then there's 10 on my side and 7 on the other. And then the speed bump is right there where the last house is. And then, by then it's too late. Like I said, some people don't even stop. So I'd just like to see something done. I've never seen any radar there, or if they'd even put one of those signs up so, it tells people how fast they're going, because maybe they just don't realize how fast they're going, but we sit out in front a lot.
Right now, we don't have any of those that are working, do we? Don't we have some coming at some point? Speed
Well, if you
signs?
don't have them, you can't put them up.
Yeah, we do have 2 that's gonna be coming from the state under grants.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, so
And,
we got those
'cause we
coming.
sit out,
And
and I'd like
I
just-
saw our captain and our chief both taking notes, so I bet they're gonna let patrol probably know about that. Mark, do you still have the traffic counters?
You need help?
Yes.
There's
A
something
new phone
wrong.
this week?
The what?
I
The
don't know.
traffic count, I mean, is this something we could put the traffic counters out there to try figuring out if?
Well, I don't think the traffic counters will matter. Rosewood Hills,
There's a lot of traffic.
Rosewood Hills purchased 4 sets of speed bumps.
Right.
And we put those speed bumps out and take them in every year.
Winter.
And we place them where you want them.
You didn't
So-
place them where I wanted them.
We placed them,
You wanted them.
well, no, we replaced them where your president wanted them, of your HOA.
Well, we're having a meeting tomorrow. Well, we discussed this at the last meeting. I
So-
told her it was.
Is
in
that
the
something that can be moved after they meet tomorrow if they decide to move
Sure,
them?
of
Okay.
course.
Well, we're having a meeting, so
Sure.
we'll see what she says. I don't have the authority to go, come out and move it.
Yeah,
Or I don't want to be
but
president either.
but you purchased 4 sets of speed bumps
Yeah.
and we put them in and out every year for them.
Yeah,
if they
and
wanna
the- and
move-
the ones I'm pursuing, they work pretty good.
If you want to move, just let us know. Just be consistent among the board.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to her about that tomorrow.
All right, so I
But
know these
anyway.
guys took notes. Yeah, so if you guys want to move, let us know and we'll get a move for you too, so.
Okay, well, that might hurt. What about the 3-way stop down there? Maybe not?
The new speed signs coming from the grant, is that whenever I was an officer here, there was a program, is that gonna be by request, or is that, you guys know what you're gonna do with that program?
It'll
yet?
probably be by complaint
Okay.
or by known accident concerns, probable contributing circumstances being speed.
Okay.
Mark, do you want
Okay.
to just quickly explain the process of a new intersection? I know that process pretty well, but.
Stop
I'll let you
signs.
explain it.
Yeah, so we have a form that can be signed by the residents in the area. Then it's sent to our city engineer, and he reviews it to determine if a stop sign
Street,
is warranted.
you get the form from you, or?
Yeah, you can get the form from us, yeah. It
Okay.
should be on our city website as well, but feel free to request it. Community Development Department on our city website, Our city engineer's email is on there as well, Dick Tuttle, and you could email Dick directly.
Okay, all right, sounds great. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, and then we got Jim. Oh, okay.
I'm in his same boat, but does that form have a nomenclature or something, or a specific title, so we can ensure we get the right one for our HOA meeting?
Yeah, it's called traffic calming devices. It's-
Yep. I actually have a video if you all would like to see what he's talking about.
No, it's enforcement.
Are you the same road or different road? Okay.
It's a pretty good video. I've seen.
You've seen it, okay, so you know, okay.
Chasing black car.
I can wait my turn. I do have a video of his, the most recent incident he's talking about, and then also to speak on like golf carts and things of that issue.
Yeah, I'd like you to come up and speak.
Okay. Okay, if you want to come up, Jan said she'll come next. Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Tell you all a little bit about myself, John Paul Levine, live in Rosewood Hills, retired military police officer. I've spoken with some parents about concerns, and it obviously hasn't made a difference because we just had another incident. I can pull it up. Just have it. You want me to show everyone or just pass it around?
I think it's big enough.
Yeah, I can see it.
As long as the volume's up.
You better bring a teenager.
I know.
You can help Jamie too.
Okay. It'll stand out. It'll be very clear what the issue is. But
Yeah, so that's Lindenwood running this direction. I think it's Hedgewood Court or something like right there.
and that's the same car that just was going east, peeled out, turned around at that speed bump he was talking about, and took off back up the hill.
Yeah, and he's not exaggerating, and obviously I live in that neighborhood, but he's not exaggerating when it's a daily, multiple time, occurrence, not just there, but elsewhere.
I'll just follow up with this will work. This is similar.
And that's your surveillance system, right?
You what?
Is that your surveillance system?
It is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
You were mowing the yard?
Yeah, I was mowing the yard. It was like, I was in awe. I was like, I was coming so fast and he zipped around and it looked like he was chasing another car.
And unfortunately, that's the only way in and out of that section, the upper sections.
School has any audio, but these are some of the same individuals, but now on golf cart, hanging off the back, doing wheelies and going down. They like to drag race and do all kinds of fun stuff in the neighborhood. Multiple neighbors have spoken up and received kind of a disrespectful response.
Has this been complained to the police department, do you know, or are we calling in to 911 when they see it occur?
Police department several times, and they've shown up. The patrols have shown up to the house.
We've got it, we'll note that street. We had this problem last year around summertime, so it seems to be a pattern, and we'll monitor that and do enforcement.
This is actually past the speed hump into the 10th and 11th phase, all the way back in the cul-de-sac. The kids like to congregate back there.
Do you know what house they live in?
I do.
Why don't you leave the address back here with Captain
We're
Christensen?
actually gonna go make a report, but I can do that as well. Thank you. Yeah, just trying to bring driver safety. We have a lot of young kids. My daughter's one of them. Having fun this summer, and there's a lot of speeding going on through the neighborhood. They're not listening to the adults. They're not. It's not being relayed to the children, obviously, because it's a recurring issue.
So these are younger drivers then, I'm assuming?
Yeah, they're probably 16, 17. The oldest one, maybe 19.
I was relieved that it was not one of my vehicles.
Yeah.
How old do you think the average, like, the golf cart drivers, like, how old do you think they are?
It's hard to say. They definitely look pretty young teenagers. Probably don't have licenses.
Is the rule on the golf carts, they have to have a valid driver's license, and then the golf cart has to be tagged with the city, right?
And have insurance, yeah.
That's all I have. I appreciate your time. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I think the golf cart thing's just been a compounding issue. I mean, it's something that, like, even when I was an officer for Grain Valley, it was, you would show up to like these calls all summer long. You want to be cordial with the public because you don't want to be on the bad side of everybody. And I think the kindness has kind of been taken for granted in the recent times, and nobody's really respecting the actual rules on that. But
Yeah, so I mean, I was gonna wait until my closing comments, and I still can, but, yeah, I mean, this is something, I sent an email last week about it, to Chief, and, I think Chief was on vacation, I sent it to one of the captains, but, yeah, I mean, the underage, the speeding combined with underage golf cart drivers, I mean, I can speak for Rosewood, I know what's happening in Woodbury, I don't know if it's happening in other areas of the city, but something's going to happen. Like, you can just tell, like, you got a 12-year-old on a golf cart, you got people driving like that, like, somebody's gonna be injured. And I know the police department's busy, I get it. And we send in the request to the police department, and I know it's received, and I know officers are going in there and, hopefully taking some sort of action. The problem is when we have a lot of citizens who are coming to us and saying, hey, we have these issues, primarily me, it seems like, getting these comments, but, I have no way of saying, hey, this is the enforcement actions we took, or this is how many contacts we had with underage golf cart drivers. And, I know on our docket today, we have a DWI grant, right? And I know part of that DWI grant, because I used to work them all, you have to turn in how many DWIs you wrote, how many warrants you got, how many speeding tickets you wrote, how many contacts you had. And that's to justify that grant, and it's also to help the state of Missouri say this is what we're doing to try to stop drunk drivers, right? And so I guess I asked, like, what can we do as the board to help address this issue? I was at the pool yesterday, and there was like 17 golf carts sitting there. Not a single one of those golf carts were licensed. And I get that they're sitting on private property, but they drove there, I'm guessing nobody trailered them and took them up there. So it's like, it's kind of like the broken window theory, right? Like, we let that go. People are probably going to let their kids drive it now, and they're going to speed, and they're not going to follow the rules. So my question is, and maybe I can aim this at Chief or Ken or whoever wants to take it, but how do we have a separate from patrol, so like an overtime or however we want to do it, that we can keep track, that it's primarily focused on community outreach in the neighborhoods, right, where a lot of traffic enforcement isn't geared toward, but where we can have officers who spend 3 hours in Rosewood one day, and then maybe they spend 3 hours in Woodbury and 3 hours in Snybar. They pick a neighborhood and they do enforcement, and then we as the board get to hear the findings of those, right? Like, hey, we had 15 traffic stops. I wrote 1 ticket. I called 5 parents to come get their kid in their golf cart. And that way we can tell the citizens who are showing up to these meetings, we're doing something. Because I know you guys are doing something. We just don't know the results of it. I mean, we send those emails in. I know they're not falling on deaf ears. But I don't have a way to tell the citizens, like, yeah, I sent an email, I'm sure something, I don't know. And so I think the way that I would like to see it done is it's an overtime opportunity. You sign up for that overtime opportunity for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is, and then you have to report back to the board, or the chief, has to compile this every month and say, this is the action that we took. And I honestly think that if you write 2 or 3 tickets, or we can't tell anybody to write tickets, but take enforcement action in that area of Lindenwood, people are going to slow down after a while. You get 1 or 2 tickets right through there driving like that, they're going to stop. And Chief, I'd just like to get your thoughts on that.
Sure, if we find funds and we want to support that, and working with the city administrator, we're happy to coordinate that. We do keep track of activity and across the city, and we do respond to the targeted complaints weekly. I mean, we get them throughout the city.
Sure.
So it's very, very, very accustomed to doing that. We can coordinate and put something together and report out through the city administrator's office and put something together for you.
Yeah, I think I'd, direct the city to come up with some sort of proposal and see where the funds could be derived from, to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd probably sit down with Chief and just see, maybe if it's not even an overtime thing, just if there's, especially different times of the year, if we can target some of these things and just kind of come up with a plan for that.
Yeah.
And then get back.
Yeah, I mean, if it's, using a dare officer in the summer for a couple hours, whatever it is, I do think it needs to be targeted.
Yep, we can do that.
Chief, what is our policy on the non-licensed golf cart? I know I got stopped on mine. Newer officer a couple of years ago told me I couldn't ride it on the street. I'd explained to him. I'm stickered and licensed and street legal, but what is the policy for these kids if you catch a kid riding one that's underage, unlicensed?
It's normally going to be bringing them into youth court, but more likely more likely we're going to get with the parent and respond that way to get a response. If we need to do enforcement, we're not afraid to do that. Some officers are quicker than others to do that, and that's okay. That's their discretion. But they would be held accountable, and then going out to the parents and holding them accountable for, we have safety issues. If you have 12-year-olds on a golf cart, do you have an endangerment if you're going across the road that's 35, 40 miles an hour? So those are all things that we can evaluate case by case.
Do we write tickets for non-licensed golf carts?
Underage?
No, just period. If Ryan's out riding his golf
Non-licensed
cart,
carts.
it's not
I mean,
licensed.
you can
right?
technically impound one if it's on the roadway and driving down the road.
It's
If it-
motorized
If
vehicle.
if it comes to it, we've had in the past the same person, same individual over and over and over. Finally, we just decided they had enough, and we impounded and called tow. And tow truck came and got their golf cart. It's happened in the past, but I mean, it takes a lot to get to that point. And like I said before, you don't want to be perceived as the bad guy and just ruining everybody's summer. But at the same time, you gotta enforce the law and do your job when it comes down to it. But
So if the kid is pulled over and he doesn't, 13, 14 years old, driving it, he gets a summons to youth court?
No, you don't, to give them a traffic ticket, we can give them a summons to go to youth court, but not to come to city court.
City court. And I know maybe I'm stretching things a little bit. If a 13-year-old gets pulled over driving a Ford Explorer, what happens to him?
Yeah, he doesn't come here. He goes they have dedicated courts for the youth, and so they're held accountable there. The parents could be held accountable.
So it has no impact on their future driver's license at 16 versus 18, nothing like that?
No.
Okay. And then I also want to suggest that if we're going to start enforcing this, which I think we should, more stringently, we need to put something out re-explaining so that we're clear that these are the rules and this is coming.
Yeah, and I think that's why I like the idea of this being separate from patrol. I mean, I'd like it to be, hey, this is what we are doing public. We're going to be in your neighborhood. Look out for the extra patrol because it's coming.
But the city could put something out saying that we're going to start enforcing these golf cart rules a little bit.
Yeah, we've prepared those in the past, and we'll continue to prepare. We put them out multiple times a year, but we can visit HOAs, whatever we need to do.
I just don't want anybody to have an excuse that they were blindsided, so, which I don't think they should, but.
put it in with the water bill.
Now I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. Appreciate it.
It says it's not working today.
Yes.
My name's Jan Brill. I live at 1035 Ephraim. And I hope I'm not the first person to come before this council and congratulate you and thank you for our beautiful new police station. It's a matter of pride and indicates pride in our city and pride in our police force. I want to also say that lately it's been really nice coming to city council meetings because there's no greater joy than watching a police officer being sworn in. A while ago, maybe some of you weren't on city council, but the council authorized 2 more officers. I'm not sure whether those have been added to our ranks, but I know that recruitment is difficult I hope that it's not because our pay is not competitive. I do know that not very many of our officers live in our city, and I hope that's not because we do not pay well. That is just a shame on us if the people who protect us aren't paid well enough to live in our city. So I hope that will be considered whenever the issue comes up. But mainly, thank you very much and I know the work was incredible to get it done. And we thank you very much for our pretty new police station. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the board this evening? All right. So now move on to the consent agenda.
Oh. We're just now getting to the consent agenda? Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Alderman Skinner to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right. Seeing no previous business, move on to new business. First item under new business is Mayor Pro Tem and Board Liaison appointments. That being said, I will entertain a motion to approve a Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion for Alderman Bray.
I have a motion from Alderman Mills to approve Alderman Bray as the Mayor Pro Tem. I have a second.
I'll second.
Second, Alderman Skinner. Any discussion?
Thank you. Thank you for the second, and I'm honored if nobody else is interested.
Any other discussion? All right. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Okay. Then as for board liaisons, we really don't have that many. So, Alderman Knox, are you good on staying on planning and zoning? Okay. Alderman Bray, are you good going to Parks Board?
Well, if I don't, I think Shannon might come after me, so I'll say yes.
Okay. Alderman Parks Board. Alderman Mills will continue to have you attend the chamber luncheons and everything.
Yes.
Been done. All right. And then Alderman Cleaver, Alderman Skinner, and Alderman Soul. If someone would like to attend school board meetings, we do have a liaison for school board. If someone would like, I think, are they Thursday nights? I think they're Thursday night one. Not what?
They have two of them.
They're Thursday.
Like I
Yeah, I think
say.
one's a workshop and one's a. Okay. You probably wouldn't necessarily have to go to that one. It would just be the.
Yeah, I can do
second
that.
one. I guess Alderman Skinner, you want to do schools? All right. Then Alderman Soul and Cleaver, if I find something for you, we'll get you. And there's some other ones out there. They just don't hardly ever meet. So we'll like traffic and community something. They don't hardly ever meet though. But if they do meet, we'll have one of you guys attend. All right. Next on new business then is 2024-2025 liquor license renewals for the following businesses. And these are all, I think, Jim, you said the same as what they currently have, correct? So these are all renewals. We have Agaves, B&B Theaters, Captains, Casey's Marketing 3325, 2808, 2209, Costantino Enterprises, Doggan Group, which would be Dollar General.
The old one. The old Dollar General.
The old Dollar General, because the new one will have to come in for a new one when we open up. LT Piazzo, Impact Motorsports, Iron Kettle, JY Amigos, Zamagwe, Victoria Vineyards, that's the wine place. Outer Belt Entertainment, doing business with Mo Country, Quick Trip, Tip Stop, Discount Liquor and Smokes, and Valley Moments. So
All of the license applications have been received for renewal. The police department have reviewed those, and all of them are in good standing with the police department. Currently, no current issues. I would request a motion to approve tonight the renewals pending receipt of their outstanding requirements. Typically, the state and the county licenses, they're a little bit longer. They get a little bit closer to that June 30th expiration date. But once I have those, then I would request a motion to approve them to issue our licenses.
So do you need a motion now?
Mhm.
I'll move.
Second.
Alderman Price and Alderman Skinner. Just double check that we will do these all together unless someone has one that they would like removed and voted on separately. We don't have that one with them all at the same time, all right? Any discussion then? All right, seeing none, all to approve, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, they're all approved. That's it for that. Seeing no presentations or public hearings, we'll move on to resolutions. First resolution is R24-40, a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley authorizing the city administrator to execute an agreement with Jackson County, Missouri Community-Backed Anti-Crime Tax or COMBATS.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we accept resolution 2440.
Okay, I motion Alderman Bray to accept resolution R24-40. Do I have a second? Any discussion?
Mayor, members of the board, this is one of the agreements we've been in for a long time with Combat, but it will allow us to recoup certain costs for anti-drug and anti-violence programs in the school.
Any additional discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Passes. Next up, we have resolution R24-41. It's a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley authorizing the city administrator to execute an agreement with Rural Incorporated Comprehensive Mental Health Services.
I move that we approve resolution number R24-41.
Motion by Alderman Cleaver to accept resolution R24-41. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mayor, members of the board, this again is another contract that we yearly get into, but this has to do with ensuring services for individuals with mental health disorders.
Anyone have any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Passes. Next, we have resolution R24-42. It's a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley, Missouri to enter into an agreement with the Missouri Department of Transportation for grant-funded overtime for DWI enforcement and hazardous moving violation enforcements.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve resolution R24-42.
Motion by Alderman Mills to approve resolution R24-42. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mayor, members of the board, as Alderman Skinner mentioned earlier, this was another yearly agreement that we get into, but this does allow funding through a grant to allow us to try to get after DWI enforcement and any other hazardous moving violations.
Any questions or discussion? All right. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Next up, we have resolution R24-43. It's a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley authorizing the city administrator to enter into a cooperative agreement with the Grand Valley Chamber of Commerce.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve resolution number R24-43.
Okay, got a motion by Alderman Skinner to approve resolution R24-43. Do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Sol. Any discussion?
Mayor, members of the board, this agreement involves the same terms as the previous agreement that we had. If you remember last year, we made modifications to that when it went from the Green Valley Partnership to the Green Valley Chamber of Commerce.
Questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right. It for resolutions. Next up then will be ordinances.
The first one is a second reading of Bill number B24-09. This is an ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley, Missouri, amending Title II, Chapter 215, Section 215.200, Sexual Misconduct, and repealing Section 215.216 of the City of Grand Valley, Missouri.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we accept the second reading of bill number B24-09 and bring it back as ordinance 450.
Okay. A motion by Alderman Bray to approve resolution B24-09 for its second reading, making ordinance 2450. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, seeing none, this will be a roll call.
Alderman Bray,
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver,
Yes.
Alderman Knox,
Yes.
Alderman Mills,
Yes.
Alderman Skinner,
Yes.
Alderman Sol.
Yes.
Okay. The next is the second reading of Bill number B 24-10. This is an ordinance to repeal Ordinance 2447 and enact a revised amendment to Title II Public Health, Safety, and Welfare, Chapter 215, Article 10, Offenses Against the Public Order, Section 215.370, Peace Disturbance, A1A of the Code of Ordinances.
Mayor, I move that we accept the second reading of bill number B 24-10 and approve it as ordinance number 2451.
Motion Alderman Cleaver to approve Bill B 24-10 for its second reading, making ordinance 2451. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Chief, since this has been implemented, have we had any calls about this new piece of surveillance?
I've heard some come over the radio, but and on the nightlies, but nothing to this. Positions have not, I haven't seen anything that's come across as citing anyone.
Directly related to this new?
Well, I don't know if it's directly
Could be
related.
any of
We had one in an apartment complex the other night,
Gotcha.
so.
Thanks.
Just the
It's
permitted construction.
Yeah.
Right? Have we had any requests for after hours?
No.
No.
Still questions or discussion? Seeing none, this will be a roll call.
Alderman Sol,
Yes.
Alderman Skinner,
Yes.
Alderman Mills,
Yes.
Alderman Knox,
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver,
Yes.
Alderman Bray.
Yes.
Okay, the next is the first reading of Bill number B 24-11. This is an ordinance authorizing the sale of property owned by the city of Green Valley, Missouri, and authorizing the city administrator to execute all documents associated with the sale.
I move that we accept the first reading of bill number B 24-11, bring it back for a second reading by title only at our next regular session.
Motion Alderman Mills to approve Bill B 24-11 for its first reading, bringing it back by title only for its second reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mayor, members of the board, as stated in the title there, these are the three lots on the east side of Main Street. So the vacant lots in between the auto repair and the strip mall that are there. So these are the ones that we did put an RFP out for and did get a response back. And this is finally moving forward with that sale.
Have any questions or discussion? All right. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Let's do it for ordinances. Next up, city attorney's reports.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Next up, city administrator and staff reports.
Mr. Trozen.
So I'd like to invite each one of you, as well as the general public, to our annual Public Works event. It's this Thursday, June 13th, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. This is an opportunity that we have to showcase our Public Works Department, our Community Development Department, the Utility Billings Department helps us out, Parks and Recreation, and the administration. It's a fun event for the whole family. We have the bouncy house, we have the raffle drawings. Papa Murphy is a great sponsor who will be back again this year. Live equipment demos, and new this year, we're having face painting and also a visit from Casey Wolf.
And you picked the hottest day of the year again. I joke every year that's the hottest day of the year. It seriously is going to be the hottest day of the year so far.
What could I say?
It's like you have an almanac and you look at it and say, okay, this is what.
We just asked a meteorologist.
Yeah.
So it was- just a couple of things. One, I just wanted to welcome Officers Irely and Harrison to the team. And then in front of you was the report from the employee assessment that we did this year. So that's something you can take home and look over and let me know if you had any questions or comments on that. That is it on staff reports.
All right. Next up, the Board of Aldermen reports and comments. Alderman Cleaver,
Nothing tonight?
Alderman Knox,
Have nothing tonight.
Alderman Skinner,
Nothing.
Bray,
Nothing.
Psych.
Alderman Mills,
Nothing.
Alderman Sol.
Nothing.
Next up, mayor's reports. Pull my list out. All right. First off, Alderman Bray, you're gonna get broken in right at the next meeting because I will be absent from the next meeting because I will be taking my daughter to sea turtle camp in North Carolina. So she gets to work with sea turtles for 10 days, so she's excited about that. So I will be gone doing that. Next thing, I think Ken's going to send an email out about this. I know I had talked to Alderman Skinner about this, about if you're interested doing like the monthly award meetings where he can sit down with the 2 aldermen from each ward and kind of go over things that might be impacting your ward or just city stuff in general. So he's going to send out an email about that, seeing if you're interested in setting that up, and he'll work on getting those established if so. Next, I've got a couple complaints I want to go over. The first one is about, and I know especially I think going down Butner Tarsney in the Greystone area, the piles of dirt that are left from construction. But I talked to Ken about it, and basically, correct me if I'm wrong, but if they're not growing weeds and they're not, well, if they're at least 20 foot away from the property line, they're acceptable as long as they're being maintained and not growing weeds. Am I right?
Yeah,
They're just piles of dirt.
Are we talking about the utilities that are going in?
Well, I think
The left dirt piles?
No, like the area there along like Hoodow, that's the undeveloped
some of it's
lots where
been-
there's like mounds and
there's like mounds of dirt, and I got to complain about the mounds of dirt, but I don't think there's any like obnoxious weeds or anything growing out of them yet. So
That's what we usually check for, is if the weeds get too tall, we notify the property owner. Know of anything in regards to a dirt pile or excess of
yeah.
dirt.
Well, and some of the difference between a developed and undeveloped lot as far as what you're required to maintain.
yeah, these would be undeveloped. Yeah. So I'm just gonna put that in case anyone else gets any calls about that. The last thing is street parking. And I had seen some talk on Facebook about this, but then I got a couple of individuals at the senior luncheon this past week stopped me about this. Number one concern is, and I told Ken to reach out to the fire department, and I'll talk about this, is some of the, especially the senior citizens, are worried about ambulances and fire trucks being able to get down the roads if there's parking on both sides. I don't know. This one lady said the fire truck couldn't get down her street the other week because of it. That's something is that?
In the past, we've had a few incidents where we couldn't get down through, but it's rare.
It's rare, okay. So I don't know if that's just something that we notice. I mean, if there's ever run into a problem, we might want to address those streets that the issue is. The other thing I've gotten is people parking RVs on the side of the streets. There's nothing in code really about that, right? Because my understanding is right now it goes by weight, but it's really only weight of the vehicle, right? Like if it's a 1-ton vehicle or less, it's allowed.
Well, anything parked on the street is regulated by the police department.
Mm-hmm. Because I got a couple complaints about people leaving their RVs on the street and then it being difficult to see around. One lady said they were blocking her driveway. And I said, well, that's a whole nother issue. If they're blocking your driveway, definitely call the PD for that because they can't block your driveway with their trailer. So I'm just putting it out there. I don't know if it's anything that, because I guess if it's not blocking the driveway or anything, there's really nothing we would be able to do,
It can't
right?
be parked it can only be parked for a certain amount of time. And what often at times happens is they know what that time is and they'll move it forward or backwards or around. And we've dealt with a couple people in town that we work with that on.
So I just want to throw it out there in case, start getting more and more of those. But I just thought it was kind of odd that I got multiple ones in the same week from different people. So
I know where they can get a smaller, lighter one.
yeah. That is all I have. I do not believe we have a need for an executive session unless someone has something. All right. So with that, then we will adjourn.